going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for tuning in. You're watching Unbiased Magic Reviews, the most objective magic review channel here on YouTube. Today I'm taking a look at an effect from Jason Whittaker called Just 3 Under. This is coin magic at its best, and I've been using this effect extensively over the past 3 months, so much so that I'm carrying it with me every day. Now, it's been a hot minute since I reviewed any coin magic here on this channel. I want to see what kind of interest this generates. That will dictate how much more coin magic I review here for you guys. You can find this on Jason Whittaker's subscription service on his Gumroad site, which is called The Magician's Underground. I've gone over it here in the past on this channel, and you can get a subscription for about $10 a month, which is something that I subscribe to. Still one of the few sites I'm still a member of because I feel that it's pure gold. I like how Mr. Whittaker thinks, his old school way of doing magic, and especially how he routines his magic. And I find that it's refreshing and very original, which is something that you don't find now very commonly in the magic that is put out like regularly. So we're going to take a look under the hood of this site so you can see some of the content before the end of this review. But first, let's go over this effect, which is called Just 3 Under. It uses an Aikido box. And when I asked Mr. Whittaker about where he got the inspiration for the effect, he told me that he wanted to come up with a routine that was like a Benson bowl routine, but something that would fit in your pocket that you can carry around with you. And so that is exactly what he has accomplished here. So the basics of the effect is as follows. You're going to introduce an Aikido box and 3 coins, and then you're going to vanish the coins one at a time, and they appear under the box each time. Very similar to what a Benson bowl routine is, but you're not carrying around a huge bowl and the sponge balls. Now you just have your Aikido box and some coins. And let's first take a look at a demo of the effect so you can see what it looks like. And then I'm going to try to answer those questions that you guys have about it. So let's take a look at it now. Here's a quick little coin box routine that is quickly becoming a worker for me. Explain to the spectator that you've got 3 coins. You say, look, watch this. I'm going to take this coin and vanish it. Did you see it go? No, really, look, it went underneath the box. Now, I know what you're thinking of. You didn't know what to look for. So look, I'll go slow so you can see. Just 1 coin underneath the box. This coin will be our second coin. I'll just take it and dematerialize it. Did you see it going into the box? No, really, look, you can see it's there. So that's 2 coins that went from the hand, 1, 2, into the box, which leaves just 1 last coin. And I know you're gonna watch this one really closely because I'm gonna take it, pretend to throw it in there. No, really, it did go in there, you can see. So that's all 3 coins that went from my hand into the box. 1, 2, and 3. And that's it. All right, you guys saw my demo of the effect, and you can just see how hyper visual this is. I've been performing this nonstop for people just inches away from their face. It absolutely blows them away. And probably the worst part about it is that almost always they want to see it again and again. And the funny part is this, is that I've repeated it for people 2 and 3 times and they still have no idea how it's possible. Although I would recommend that you don't do that, because obviously if you repeat something too much, people might get an idea of what's going on. So here's some questions you may have. I'm going to try to answer them. The first question you may have is the Aikido box, okay? Like, how do you justify this object, which is so strange, right? So I've got 2 ideas for you guys because I've used them both, right? The first idea is don't even bother to try to explain it because there's no point to that. You know, you just introduce it and just move forward, right? The other idea, which is what I do, which I really like, is that I take it out and I give it to them and I say, do you know what this is? Take a look at it. They look at it and they say it's a little box. And I go, yeah, it's a little box for my coins. And then I take the coins out of my pocket. Now, the beauty of this is that now they've handled it and they've looked at it. So it's something that they've had in their hands. Sometimes I say to them, make sure that the bottom is solid. So they'll look at that, right? And then I'll say, here, check out these coins. These are the coins that go in there. I'll let them look at the coins and then we're ready to go. They've looked at the props, okay? So that is how I justify the box for those of you that are worried about that. But I'm telling you, from real world experience of performing this like nonstop, people don't care. Especially once you do the effect, they're just going to be so blown away from it. They're just going to be like, wow, that's incredible. In terms of the gaffs that you need to perform the effect, if you're into coin box magic, if you have a set of Okito boxes, then you probably have the box that you need. You may need some other gaffs, but if you are into coin magic and coin box magic, you probably already have those gaffs. Now, the next question you have probably is, how difficult is this? Okay, I'm going to tell you guys, honestly, it's absolute beginner level. And the reason why is the only thing you have to be able to do is vanish a coin. So if you can vanish a coin, then you can perform the effect. So it doesn't even matter what kind of vanish. Like if all you do is just like a French drop, that's all you need to do. Now, Jason Whittaker goes over the routine, and in the routine, the second and third vanish are done exactly the same way. Now, as you saw in my demo, I changed the third vanish, and the reason I did that is because I like to be able to do each phase where each vanish is just a little different. And I just feel that that way there's less likelihood that the spectator will, be aware of what's going on if they each look a little bit different. Now, there's something really important you need to understand about the structure of the routine. The reason I think that this routine is so strong is because of the structure. Because when you vanish an object, the natural tendency is that the person's going to look for the object until it reappears. When it reappears, their brain will stop looking for the original object. And just to take it an extra level, here, not only are you instantly, reproducing the object in an impossible location, but you're also immediately showing them that their thought process of, oh, I think the coin's in that hand, it's not there. And so when you dispel the notion that it's not where they think it is, they have to just accept that it's under the box somehow. They're not sure how it got there, but it got there one way or the other, and their brain will just accept that. And so I just love the structure of the effect because it just cancels out anything that they're going to think about. Now, in terms of the angles, there's no problems with the angles, and I've had people all around me, and it's actually kind of made me a little nervous when I had somebody right next to me because I thought maybe they could see something, but they're not going to see anything. And because of the speed of the routine, which is kind of interesting because you don't have to move quickly, but it'll be over just as fast as it started, really. And so you'll find that, as I mentioned earlier, the biggest issue that you're going to have is that people are going to want to see the effect over and over again. So what's probably the biggest negative about the effect is that you kind of end dirty. That's probably the biggest negative of the whole effect, is that they really can't examine the box and the coins when you're immediately done. But if you let them examine it before you start, then you can kind of sidestep that problem. That's what I've done. Another way that I've done this is I've started with a totally different Okito box routine, like No Table Required, which I've reviewed on this channel like 3 years ago. I reviewed that, and you can start with that routine, and then you can go into this later if you want to. Or you could do this as a follow-up after you do No Table Required. And just as a comparison, I would say that No Table Required is like advanced intermediate level difficulty, and this is absolute beginner level in comparison. Like anyone who has the guts to do a coin vanish can do this routine. That's how easy it is to perform. I just want to really emphasize that so you guys understand that. So let's take a look at what you can find on the Magician's Underground, and then we're going to get into the rating and some final thoughts. Let's take a look at that now. And this, as I mentioned, is one of the few magic subscription services that I still pay for every month because it is absolutely worth its weight in gold. And you can see here how many categories of magic there is. There's everything from coin box magic to card magic, mentalism, restaurant magic, platform magic, close-up magic, and there's even a section that goes over magic reviews, which is great. In each one of these, like if I open up the coin box magic, you'll see there is a wealth of material here. Look at all this material. If you look at the card magic, there's all of these card magic effects. I'm not going to show you all of them, but just to give you an idea, if you look at the retro review, these are all magic effects where Mr. Whittaker actually demos the effects and does like a little review of the effect. You can see the close-up magic stuff that's here. There's so much good stuff here. Definitely worth checking out if you haven't already checked this out. All right, you guys took a look at the Magician's Underground, and you can see all of the content that is on there, and that is expanded every single month. And I have to tell you guys that I've been studying the material on there. I've studied about half of it, and I can tell you guys that so much of that material is stuff that I am already using. And I found just the tips and the advice invaluable, because this is a working magician who has years of experience that is sharing his knowledge with you. And that is why I'm still a member of that subscription service. I would recommend that you really check it out, because I think for the price, it's an absolute steal. If you like what you're seeing here, I think you definitely should check that out. So let's take a look at my rating for this effect. Here's my rating. As you can see here, it's like almost a perfect rating. I really liked especially the structure of the effect, the creativity of this. You can see that I gave it a rating of 3 out of 5 for practicality, because you are going to have to carry around with you, keto box to do the effect. So for some people that may be an issue. But my final rating for this is 4.42 out of 5, which is highly favorable. And I would easily place this effect probably in like a top 5 coin box magic list of all time for sure, because it's such a great effect and it's so easy to perform, and it gets such great reactions from my own real live world performances. That's why I rate it so highly. Anyway, that's really the most important things I wanted to tell you guys about this effect and really go over with you, so you can see what this is about, maybe expose you to some magic that you never even knew existed. As I mentioned, the only real negative is that you kind of end dirty, and I think some people would probably have an issue with that you're using keto box, but I think that it's more like magician thinking, because from performing with it for people like they are a little bit suspicious of it until they look at it and they feel it and they see that it's just all solid, and they realize that there's no trap doors, no secret passages. Then they're just like, oh, okay, yeah, it's a box, whatever, like it doesn't look like anything else other than what it is. And so that's why I would say to you that you need to actually go and try it and use it out, so you can see the reactions that you're going to get from this. Anyway, that's really everything I wanted to tell you guys about this. As usual, if you have any questions or comments, just leave them for me below. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in to my channel. It really means a lot to me, especially if I see that there's interest, because the reality is that this is a hobby for me, and I do these reviews really to try to help you guys out and let you guys know a little bit more about magic that I think is worthy, and maybe help keep the magic industry honest if possible. Is that possible? I don't even know. Anyway, I'll see you on the next review.